Okay, so like I've got my jumper on today. So, right. Can you see it? Do I have to stand up? There's my. Don't look at the fat. That's my festive fat. Thanks. So I am doing today never-ending journal card. So let's just have a look and see if I can find it on this here. Because then somebody told me, I don't know who it was that told me, but I could see comments if I do it, if I have my laptop on, but can't really see anything at the minute. So. Anyway, I'm going to show, oh yeah, they come up at the side. Oh yeah, it doesn't happen on the iPad. Clearly you can see the iPad, that doesn't happen. So, although I keep going to touch the screen on my computer, and it's not a touch screen. So I'm going to move you. Okay. So hopefully you can still hear me, even though I'm having mic issues today. So I'm going to move you. Okay, so right, what? Oh shush! I can hear myself talking on there. Right, you're just going to have to bear with me a minute, folks. I'm just going to turn myself off. Okay, you don't want to see all of this. This was just all dumped here while I got the laptop started. Remote controls. Right, okay, so today what are we making? We're making this, okay, which is one of these never-ending cards. Now, you can make these as greetings cards, obviously, but I also make them for things like just a bit of interest when you making a junk journal. They do have to be square, okay? The reason for that is because obviously it's the mechanics of it, so it has to be as equal folding it that way, otherwise you'd end up, if it was oblong, you'd end up with two bits that overlapped each other and you wouldn't be able to fold it through itself. Okay, they're really simple to make, okay, but there are a few things that you need to know, and this is why I'm here. I am here. I've got you. I've got your back. I'll put that there because that covers up that spot of light. So few things that you're going to need. You are going to need some card. Okay, now the card that you need can't be too thick. You don't want to have it like really thick because it's got to fold and it's got to be able to bend quite easily on itself. Okay, so you don't want it really thick. Equally, you don't want it really thin. It's much better if you have it double-sided. Okay, otherwise what will happen is when you fold it through, you'll have blank bits, which you then have to decorate, which is fine, you can decorate them. But if you think, if it's already quite thick and then you start adding extra layers on it, it will get even thicker and it will make it much harder to bend through itself. I was going to show you the one that I decoupaged up, but I don't know where it is because I've been making other things. I've been making Christmas cards. So, not Christmas cards to sell, Christmas cards to give. Okay, so few things that you do need to have are, you need to have 6x6 sheets of paper. Now I've cut a 12x12 sheet of paper into 4. Well, I've actually cut it into 3 because there's one there. Yeah, okay. Because I haven't cut this in half, but you can make four sets out of 2 sheets of 12x12, or you can make 2 sets out of 1 sheet. You'll understand that in a minute. That didn't make, what's that? Oh, it's a D. Or is there a D or a P? I don't need a P. Let's leave that there. So, the other thing you need to be very wary of, and I'm not going to mention any names, Hobbycraft. This says, I don't know whether you can see on here, but this says that it is 6x6 premium paper, okay, and that the metric version is 5.24 centimetres by 5.24 centimetres, right? You've read that just like I did. Let's just measure that, okay? So that is exactly 15 centimetres. It is not 6 inches like the packet says. And therefore, you can't make these out of that without getting into some serious fractions of millimetres, because you need to be able to score it and fold it, and it to be equal. The fold needs to be as equal as the circumference of the paper, and you'll see what I mean when I come to it. So be wary of paper like that. I didn't buy it for that reason, but I did get it out of my stash and thought, oh, 6x6 paper, no need to cut. But it's not 6x6 paper, and trust me, I will be telling Hobbycraft, thanks very much Hobbycraft, mentioning no names, Hobbycraft. So the other things that you're going to need is a bone folder. Okay, this is an old cricket bone folder because I'm hoping that Santa might bring me a Teflon style one. I did have one. that got lost. It might have gone in the bin for all I know. You don't need a square ruler, but it's just good for you to be able to just measure and make sure. Now you see that is definitely 6x6 because that's 6 inches wide. So that's a definitely 6x6 piece of paper, and you'll need a scoreboard or some other way of folding paper. So, right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this other piece of sheet so we've got some more ready to go. Okay, so this has already been cut in half. This is a 12x12 already cut down, so it's now 12x6. Okay, and I'm just going to cut this down to 6 again, except for Dave that didn't have 6 inches on it, but this does. Not sponsored by Fiskars, but like, you know, if they want to, they can. I just happen to like Fiskars ones because they're sharp. So it's always good if you're gonna have a paper cutter when it's sharp. There you go. So like they are 6x6 now. Okay, so you'll need a 6x6. Sorry, you'll need 2 6x6 sheets of card, and I've picked 2 that are different so that you can see that it is not a trick of the eye, that there is distinctly 4 separate sides to this. Okay, from a 2-sided sheet of card, although that's what people think it is. So from there you need to cut this down, this 6x6 down again. Not chopping any fingers off today. Oh look, I coordinate with my Fiskars today. I've got some whiskers as well, so I'm Fiskars with whiskers. So shut up. Oh, by the way, I had a date yesterday and it went exceptionally well, and I'm feeling a little bit giddy about it all. So even my neighbours obviously had a bit of a get together last night, and one of their guests was walking past my house and gave me that withering look, like, oh, you can't touch me. You know, some people like to think they're hard, don't they? And even that didn't bother me. I was like, no, I'm far too happy. I don't care about anybody else. So yeah, one of the other things to do is just try and line it back up again, because it's always much nicer if the page like sits nicely together. You see what I mean? Because if it was that way round, it just wouldn't sit nicely. It jars on the eye. Anyway, so that's that. If you're using plain paper, it doesn't really make any difference anyway. Do me diamonds. My diamonds stay with you. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, you didn't tune in for the singing, did you? That's a good job. Okay, so, and then the next thing to do, after you've just made sure that you've got it the right way around, Dave, do it again. There you go. And the next thing to do is you're going to take your 6x6 sheet of paper and you're going to score on the 1.5 inches, and then on the 4.5 inches on all of them. Yes, all of them. Yes, all of them. So 1.5, 4.5. It's quite repetitive, isn't it? So let's make sure that's the right way around. It is 1.5 and 4.5, and then 1.5 and 4.5. See, it's I honestly, this is really simple. It must be. If I can do it, it's got to be simple. The other thing you're going to need is some glue. Okay, now some people use tape. I prefer glue because the tape, if it hangs over the edge slightly, it will stop the whole mechanism from working. So I actually just prefer to use a bit of glue. Sorry, don't know why I just suddenly decided I need to clean that on camera. So you're going to have your glue, have that to one side ready to go. But what we now need to do is we need to loosen these hinges up. So remember that a valley that you've scored down on a line becomes a mountain. So it's now a mountain. Okay, and now what you need to do is you just need to fold these into themselves. And what they need to do is they need to accurately meet. So this is worthwhile you taking just that little bit of time to re-score these. If you see how they're bulging either side, I don't know whether you can see that. So because they meet in the middle, they bulge at either side, and that means that you're just going to need to get that crease like flattened down, holding the two bits in the middle together. Okay, and then they sit nicely, so they meet nicely. Yeah. And now fold it back the other way and do the same again. And that's it. So you're just going to create that little bit of a fold on those. So again, let's start again with the mountain. Turn that valley into a mountain. The hills are alive with the sound of somebody murdering the song. That'll be Dave. Okay. So again, just scoring. Honestly, take your time at this point. I know it's a bit like, I just want to make it, but you'll be happier with yourself that you took the time now. Okay. Again, scory. Sorry. The problem with wearing, I might have to take my jumper off in a minute. I'm getting a bit warm, a bit wham. Okay, so finally becomes a mountain, but I don't know why I have to say that to you every time. I'm not really saying it to you, I'm saying it to me. But you know me, I like to talk out loud and like. Oh yeah, and sorry about last week, by the way. Don't know what happened. Facebook clearly didn't want me to be live, So, but I didn't take it personally. It's fine. It just didn't like me last week. Just wouldn't let me go live. I tried to create other versions of this event, and it still wouldn't let me go live. So, so we just kind of had to give up. So I twiddled my thumbs for 2 hours. Well, I didn't, because I'd done an hour's worth of prep for it, which I've lost. I've lost all of it. I don't know where it is. So I've done all the prep for it. I think I've already done this side, but I'll just do it again. I've done all the prep for it, and then couldn't go live. So I've just literally spent the next 2 hours recording a video for my YouTube channel instead. So, okay, so that's it. So you folded those, and they've got nice, nice hinges. So they waggle back and forth. Bit like me on the stairs. TMI, Dave. TMI. Okay, so again, just making sure that I've got those in the right place. Then the next thing to do is, if you want to measure this, then absolutely do that. So if you want to measure it, I'm going to measure it for you guys. I don't need to anymore, So I've done them a few times now. So you have now got 3 inches. Obviously you can make these out of anything that is, so like 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, you know, not a positive number, Dave. What's the number? An even number. That's the one. It could be a positive number. Depends on how it's feeling on that day. So all you want to do is just you want to put a little bit of a mark so that you don't glue over that edge. So you want to glue within this boundary here. So let me do the other side and I'll show you what I mean. So you don't need to make any lines on it. I'm just doing this so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so again, oh, Dave, getting giddy now. No giddiness. So, well, no more giddiness than normal. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to join those lines up together so you can see exactly what I mean. So, trying not to get your bonds in camera too much, Dave. So, what you want to do is you want to glue within this square. So not all the way across, okay, otherwise it won't open, okay. You want to glue in this square, you want to glue in this square, and this square. Okay, so it's worthwhile getting them, you know, taking your time to kind of glue it nicely. Bit of a shake. You've got to have a good wrist action. Steady. So gluing a full square like that. Honestly, when you're using this kind of wet glue, less is definitely more. The amount of times that I see people putting like way too much on, way too much, and I think that'll never dry, it'll warp the paper. You know, less is absolutely more, especially with, you know, I mean, this one is what is it, bookbinding glue, so pin flare bookbinding glue. But all of these grab quick, strong bond type ones, you just be careful on how much you put down, because like you want it to work, you want it to grab quickly and hold fast, and you don't want to be waiting 3 hours because you've put on a PVA slick. Okay, so you can see now I've glued in this corner, this corner, this corner, and this corner. The next thing to do is take your next layer, okay, and just make sure that you've got it, okay, the top bit, and now again, taking your time, and what you want to do is you just want to line that up square. Sorry for getting my head in the camera. I'm just going to line that up square with that corner, yeah, and do the same on this corner, but make sure that the 2 pieces of card meet. This is your time to get them aligned. And again in that corner, and then with this piece of card on this corner, again, take your time to get them nicely aligned. Okay, if it doesn't quite meet, don't worry about it. It's not the end of the world. Okay, make sure it makes a good bond. I like to get a bit of a brayer out to get a firm bond, firm and even bond. Okay, so the brayer is optional, I'll just say, and that's it. What, Dave? That's it? No. Yes, it is. That's it. And there you go. And all you want to do now is you want to, as you're folding it, you just want to like just re-emphasize those score lines, just so that it knows where it's going. Yeah, okay, Dave has gone a bit wrong there. There you go. And then back round again, and that's it. See, I told you that was simple pimple. See, even I can do that with my eyes closed, with one eye tied behind my back. It's not quite how it happens, is it, Dave? Okay, so let's do it again. So I will be giving these away at this rate and just be like, yeah, do you want one of these? Because like I've made that many of them. Okay, should we do it again? I'll tell you what, let's do it with some plain-ish paper. Okay, we've got some of this coordination stuff that I don't really use, to be fair, because I don't like the core of it. Core, blimey, you don't like it, Dave? Core, blimey. Did you tune in for the jokes? No. Okay. Let's do it on some plain paper so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so again, make sure you're getting it to 6 by 6, and you need 2 pieces of card. So that's 6. And that's 6, and hopefully then that makes that 6 by 6 as well. It does. That was clearly a 12 by 12 piece of paper. Okay, so we've got these. Now what do we need to do? Anybody remember? We need to cut it in half, don't we, to make it 3 by 6. So align it up to the 3. Cut it nicely. I do like the sound of a guillotine. I mean, like, you know, I'm not talking like French Revolution type thing. I'm just saying. Just putting it out there. I like the sound of a guillotine. On paper, I shall just emphasise that it's on paper. I know you guys have been like, you know, commenting, and I still can't see because my laptop is to my left hand side and not right in front of me. So I'll read your comments later. So again, so now we're putting it so that we've got the long, so it's long ways across against the top score line. Okay, and we're going to score again at, anybody remember, 1.5 and 4.5, and just go through and score them all. So with the plain paper, you don't have to worry so much about it being, you know, which end butts up to which end. So also don't be tempted to go, oh, I'm going to do 2 together, because you don't get the perfect score line. They don't tend to marry up quite so easily. The first line does, and then the next line doesn't, you know, when you come to doing the foldy bit. Okay, so 1.5 and 4.5, and obviously if you're doing an 8 by 8, then you are going to do so first line is 2, second line is 6. So don't ask me anymore, because I'm having enough problems breathing. I'm multitasking, I'm breathing and I'm talking at the same time whilst scoring lines, so just be grateful. Okay, so again, folding it over and taking your time now, and really that is the key. Your accuracy is the key. Now I make a lot of kinetic cards, and with all kinetic cards, so a kinetic card from my perspective is something that moves, so it's an interactive thing. I make lots of kinetic cards. I make things that have, you know, an iris opening to it. I make ones that are slider cards, so you pull it out and it slides out the other side. I make lots of like kinetic-y style cards, even, Dave. And accuracy is the key to them working. So when people say to me, oh, I tried to make one of those and it didn't work, it's probably because you weren't accurate enough. And that's no judgment on people. That's just that some people in the craft world are like, oh, I don't measure. Now, I don't measure for things usually, but when I'm doing stuff like this, I absolutely do. So there you go. So remember, we're making sure that we get a nice fold. It folds backwards and forwards and it meets in the middle. Okay, being accurate as we can. Again, fold it that way first, Dave. So fold it, score it, and hold it in the middle, because that makes sure, if you're holding it in the middle, it makes sure that you get a nice square fold. So again, like this. There you go, that's that one. And then the last one now. So that and fold it back again. So I did tell you, when I said to you this was really easy, I absolutely meant it was really easy. And some of you are going to be thinking, what? I watched him do that? Why? Why? Mom? Well, I don't know why you watched me do it, but like you did. So so try and get them. Let's see if we can get ones that actually marry up, because it's better if they're a bit more square. See, that line doesn't marry up with that, so I'm not happy with that. There you go. That's those two pieces were meant to be together, and these two clearly were as well. Except for if you move it, David. Everybody knows. There you go. Okay, so remember, now I'm going to put that line in for you. Okay, I'm going to do that line so you can see what I mean. So, the gluing needs to be, you could do with a ruler that was like where the inches were on the other side, Dave. Okay, so I'm going to put a line on the paper so that you can see where I'm gluing. Because again, accuracy and on not just your folding, not just your cutting, but also on your gluing is the key. And I'm really sorry, I'd love to make this easier for you by saying, oh, you don't have to worry about any accuracy, but I've made it as easy as I possibly can for you. The rest of it is up to you. The only other way I can make it any easier is if I come round and do it for you, but I'm not doing that. You're on your own, kids. So make a horrible noise with the ruler and sing to you. So you all in the festive spirit? You all ready for Christmas? I know we're not going to have the Christmas we wanted, but we've got the Christmas that we've got, and we have to make the best of it, don't we? Let's face it, you might not have the Christmas you want, but people are going to stay alive as a result of it. So you are going to glue in this square, and this square. So let's just make a, so you're going to glue here, 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 and here. Don't glue over this line or this, you know, perceived line if you're not actually putting a line in. If you want to do a few and put your line in for now, then do that. That's fine until you get used to making it, and then you've got an idea of where that line is, whether it's in the real world or you're gone a bit over the edge, or it's a physical line, or whether it's a oh, I can't think of my words. You know what I mean. An invisible line. That's the word. Is it? Is it? I don't know. Is it? Is it, Dave? No idea. Does anybody care? Not really. I'm surprised any of you are still here. Thinking, oh, tuned in for that. So what I was thinking is, it's going to be after Christmas now, clearly. But what I was thinking is I might show you a few other Connecticut cards. Now, I realise I've had a few people come to me and say, these aren't junk journals, or these, I'm not going to mention any names, or these isn't mixed media, or you know what, it might not be those, but you know what, it's mindful. So there you go. I fit in the group somewhere because they're mindful. So you can tell that I'm in a good mood, can't you? Because I'm a bit like, oh, I don't care. Don't care what you think. So, yeah, so remember, line it up nice and square in your first corner, and if you want to pick it up to do it, do so. And I'm picking it up to kind of show you, so I'm just making sure that that's, you know, as square as it's lined up with this edge, it's lined up with that edge, and then do the same. Put those two pieces together first, these two first, and then line that up, stick that down, and then get your next piece of paper and line it up with this bottom edge, and that one, And if you've got the, see, I don't know whether you can see, but there's a slight overlap there, and that won't work if you have an overlap. So stick it down, make sure there is no overlap now. Yeah, stick it down, make sure you've got a nice bond, however your preferred, I was going to say your preferred bondage, but that might not be taken in the way that I meant it. Your preferred method of adhesion, and that's it. So we're done again. So remember, as we go through the first lot of folds, this is your time to rescore those lines. Okay, and then we go round again, taking time to rescore those lines. Round again. And then round again, and we're back round to the start. So there you go, simple. And if you get, like, if you've noticed here, I've got a bit of a drag. So let me go back round to that again. Okay, so it's here, I've got a drag. So if you see here, it's just dragging on that edge. Can you see that? So if I do this side and bend it, you see it's just dragging on that edge. So those two parts are meeting. If that's the case, fold them to the very outside and just take the tiniest, and I mean tiny, don't get all giddy with your cutting, the tiniest slither off both edges, because remember, you need it to be the same. So that's a tiny, Dave, that was nearly a tiny finger that you'd cut off there. Sorry, I've suddenly gone quiet because I'm cutting with a knife, and that's the reason why. So the tiniest slither off there, and the tiniest slither off here. Get off, get off, get off me! And then that way, then that should have cured your drag factor. Yes, it has. There you go. So you could just go on forever. I mean, like, literally, you give it to, like, some people and they're like, where does it end? Well, it ended, like, there's only 4 sides to it. But if you want to keep going, keep going. So, yeah, so it literally just folds and folds and folds and folds. And get, you know, like, if you're using this kind of cardstock, so this is a very similar to American Crafts cardstock in its thickness. If you're using this, then yeah, you can decorate it. But remember, if you're going to then start layering up things on top of this, okay, then you're going to make this thicker. And also that means then you'll have to rescore all of those lines, because the stuff that you lay on top isn't going to have had a score to it. And that's it. So I've got loads of these now. So if you see them coming up in all of my future crafts, you'll know why. It's like every time I do a, see, look, I give it to a simple person like myself, and like, they'll go on forever. If you see them in everything that I do, you'll know why, because I've got loads of things. Just like every other time I make anything on camera, I end up having hundreds of the damn things. And that's it. So that was only 40 minutes. So you know what I'm going to do while I'm, oh hello, just realised that Brian's stood behind me. What I'm going to do is, because I am finished sooner than anticipated, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look through any of the comments that you've got, that you've put, so that I can see if there's anything that you need me to answer. So if you've got any questions for me, I will happily do that. By the way, don't forget, on Christmas Day, live on Christmas Day at 4 p.m. It's me and Brian. Me and Brian are going to be doing a live. It might be kind of gin fueled live. It could go anyway, couldn't it? Really. We're going to be doing a live bit of a craft along type thing. I don't know whether you'd be up for crafting. You might also be a bit gin fueled. But we'll be doing a bit of a crafty thing, bit of a giggle. We're calling it the Queen's Teach. A bit like the Queen's Speech. So, like, we're not the Queen, obviously, but we are a couple of queens. And we're going to teach you something. Probably teach you not to drink alcohol and make videos would probably be the best thing you're going to learn from us. So let me have a look at these comments. For some reason I can't see them. Right, okay, there we go. Okay. Right, Dave, get a grip, Dave. Get a grip. Right, what are the comments? Let's look at them. Oh, yeah. Okay, so has anybody asked me anything specific? Or would anybody like to ask me something? Maybe you might like to ask me. So we've just got general hellos. Do I want to bring people onto camera? Hi. Can hear you fine. Okay, good. Well, to be fair, you can probably hear me without a microphone and without the need for any kind of electronic equipment, because I've got a bit of a booming voice, to be fair. Ba 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 la 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 la. Oh, hello from Minnesota as well. Hi. Oh, Poland. Hi. Who else? We've got like lots of people just generally saying hello. Lots of hellos. Hello, Leah, by the way. Oh, that's brilliant, Dave. What, my shirt, my beautiful face, or the thing that we were making? Sorry, D. I'm just being trying to be funny. Let's just look through. No, okay, it doesn't look like. There's a few people saying, sorry you're late. Don't worry about it, Shaz. I was late coming on. Let's see. Anybody got anything for me? Anybody got any questions? No, it doesn't look like it. You like so far. Okay, Leah has asked, do I like sprouts? Yes, Leah, I love sprouts, and I genuinely love sprouts. Those people that say horrible things about sprouts just have no idea, yeah, I really like them. So wanted to learn that for a long time. Well, I'm glad I was here. Unfortunately, this is white writing on a white background, so I can't see. Oh, Deirdre. Sorry, Deirdre, that's who you are. Couldn't see who it was from. And that's it. Right. No more questions. Okay, so well, it's what date is it? It's the 20th of December. So I just want to say I wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas for those people that celebrate it. Have a nice day off for those that don't. If you do celebrate it and you're working, then try and enjoy the time that you do have. And if you don't celebrate it and you're working, then again, try and enjoy some time off over this really busy period. I just want to say, have a lovely time. I realise that most of the world are in a bit of a mess, and we've got this COVID stuff going on, but we'll be back together again soon, and it'd be so much nicer if we were all safe and well, wouldn't it? So I love you all. You know that. You know that I love you all. And I always say I love you all without exception until you give me a reason not to. And I genuinely mean that. So you all have a fantastic Christmas or a fantastic day off, whatever it is for you. And I will see you all. Oh, well, come along Christmas Day. Come and learn not to craft whilst drinking gin and being live, or might learn something from us other than that. But yeah, myself and Brian will be live Christmas Day at 4 p.m. for the Queen's Teach. So we'll see you then. You take care of yourselves until then. Go and, get warm, snuggle up on the sofa with, your partner, your furry friends, whatever it is. And I'll see you all very soon. Loved you all. Take care of yourselves. Merry Christmas! Ho, ho, ho. Okay, I'm off. I was nearly about to sing, so I'm off. I'm going before I sing. Take care, folks. Loved you all. Bye, 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 bye. I'm gonna sing to you while I find the stop button. That's it. Goodbye.